Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for clicking on this video. I cover what I'm into and I hope that I help some people out along the way. As always, in the description box below, there's links to other ways to support me outside of the obvious ones, which are liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And then finally, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks. Hey everybody, so in today's video we're going to be going over credit card debt and how to get rid of it forever. I hope this video helps a ton of people out. That's why I'm making it. Also, I thought this article was pretty well written. But before we get into the article, I did want to go into a little bit more data around debt, and specifically debt in the United States or America. So without further ado, let's get into that. So moving right along onto some credit card data. This is specifically credit card data from creditkarma.com. I got a lot of this information. This is the 2020 information, so it should be pretty or fairly accurate. On average, Credit Karma members hold around $6,146 in credit card debt. But there seems to be some variation in average credit card debt when it comes to breaking down by generation. If you go by age group, baby boomer members carry the highest average credit card debt per person at about $8,684, followed closely by Gen X, nearly $8,079. Now, if you go by credit score, those ranging from 660 to 617 seem to have the heaviest credit card debt on an average of $7,566. So that's some basic information on it. And this is a quick chart from Credit Karma that kind of shows it in a little bit better perspective, so you can actually see the difference between generations. So yeah, so I'll just leave it on this for just a second just so you can see it. So as we get into the actual content of the article, the very first thing you find yourself reading is about Mary and her response to this question. Mary, again, is the author, so don't forget that. So the question to Mary was, you recently said using home equity to consolidate credit card debt is a bad idea. What's wrong with getting a lower interest rate and combining balance? This is a good question, right? Why wouldn't you want to have a lower interest rate so you don't lose money, right? So her response, Mary's response was, when dealing with risk, it's always a good idea to ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen? What is the risk? If you stay in your current situation and you default on your loan, on your credit card, the worst thing that happens is the creditor trashes your credit score and possibly sues you for what you owe. Right? That's bad. That's not a bad thing. But let's say that you roll it into a home equity loan and then you default on your payments. Then what's going to happen? The lender is going to take your home through foreclosure, no questions asked. So you really have to weigh the difference, right? Would you rather lose your home, or would you rather have a bad or a poor credit score? Obviously, you wouldn't want either, but you have to take all that into perspective when you're making decisions about debt. So continuing on with the same kind of topic, another problem with rolling your debt into your home equity loan is that it's human nature. And when you finally pay off your credit card, right, even by rolling it into your home equity loan, that doesn't make somebody change their habits, specifically their spending habits here. And they don't consider that they're going to get themselves in over their head, right? So they feel like they've done something, they relax, they probably, feel a little bit relieved, and they probably spend more than they would have even if they didn't do that. So what often happens is in about 2 years, they find themselves with all the accounts maxed back out again, and they have that home equity loan now rolled, is now a higher payment, right? So that's even worse than the situation they were in before, right? So her best advice is to buckle down, stop using the credit cards, and get it paid off by whatever means possible. So again, not the easiest thing to do in the world, but you do have to just buckle down and do it. There's no get rich quick scheme. There's no way to just get around this. You just have to do it. So whenever anybody wants to talk to me about money or investing or whatever it may be in the market, I always want to give them this advice first, and I feel like it's super important before you start any journey. When it comes to financial freedom, this might be the most important step, and I'm glad that she included it in her article, right? So, without a cushion of money in your bank to cover unexpected expenses while you're getting out of debt, you will forever be in a loop of paying down debt and then running it back up when an unexpected expense happens. You must see saving an emergency fund as more important than getting out of debt. I'm serious. That means you have to do two things at the same time: crash save and stay current with all your debt payments. All right? So, this is super important. It's nice to have that cushion, that emergency fund, to know that if something were to come up, right, your car breaks down and needs to be fixed, you have the money to pay it, and you don't have to scramble and put it on a credit card or whatever it may be. You just can pay it, and then you can save again and get that emergency fund back up, right? But you're not putting yourself in debt doing so. So, with that being said, let's get into step one. Step one's a pretty good step as well. So, stop using the credit card cold turkey. Don't close the account, just cut it up. Yep, cut up the card, hand it off to a trusted friend, whatever it takes, so you cannot use them, right? And I did this with one of my friends. I had them cut up their credit card, and we sat down, we did a little plan, and we got them taken care of so they could be on the right path to getting their debt taken care of. So I was doing a lot of this with myself and with people I knew before I even ever read this article. So this is a great article so far. So then we go into step two, crash save. Starting today, no amount is too small to save. Liquefy stuff. That means going out and selling everything, right? If you don't need it, sell it. Start saving. Get that money back into your account. Get that money back into your savings, right? Work extra if you can. Become obsessed with saving money. Do not feel guilty that you are saving when you have so much debt. This is the only way you'll ever get out for good. Step 3, pay only the minimum monthly payments required on each of these accounts. This is while you're saving, right? This is not a separate step, in my opinion. You should be doing this while you're building up your emergency fund. And then we'll cover the next slide. What I think you should do. So mine's a little bit modified to this. So then we get to step 4. Line up your debts from smallest to large. And when the smallest debt reaches 0, take that payment and add it to the next debt in line while you're continuing to pay the minimum payments on the others. So I've heard this called something else before. This is kind of the debt snowball. I made a video about it before on my channel. This is a good way to get out of debt, and it's a good way to look at spending money, because if you already are living a certain way, this doesn't change once you've figured out how to live, right? Making all of your payments, and that small one gets off the board, you can continue living that way, right? You shouldn't change the way that you're living after you pay off one of your debts, right? So this is, I'll talk about what I would do a little bit differently, right? It's not a huge change. It's pretty much exactly what this is talking about, but mine's a little different in one way. I would do the minimum on everything, and then as you save up your emergency fund, once your emergency fund gets to 6 months of you living the way that you're living, right? Once you've made this budget and everything, and you've gotten your spending down, if you have 6 months saved up, or even 3 months saved up, then you roll the money that you're putting into your savings into that emergency fund into paying off that smallest debt first. Then you roll both that debt and the smallest debt into the next debt, and then you take all of that and put it into the last debt, or whatever it may be, until finally you've paid off all of your debts, right? So that's basically what they said. It's just a little variation. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody there. Then once you have all your debts paid off, you can come back to this channel and we can all become billionaires together. That's the goal, right? Work together to become billionaires. And then, as always, I like to end on my favorite quote: try not to become a man of success, rather become a man of value. This is by Albert Einstein. And this is a crucial point to why I started making these videos, why I do what I do, because I want to become a man of value. Me doing these videos helps me research things, helps me go and do the things that I need to do to make sure that I'm, being financially sound and making the right financial decisions. And if I'm going to go through all that work of finding out and learning about this stuff, why shouldn't I share it with other people? And it's great that places allow you to post videos and content like this, so you can share your opinions and you can share what you think, and what your progress is. So I always like to end on this quote. Hey, thanks for making it to this point of the video. You, sir or ma'am, you are a rock star. Hey, I got a really good idea. Let's be friends. Why don't you hit that like and subscribe button for me? Yeah, those buttons. Can you go hit those for me? Wow, I can tell this is going to be a great start to a beautiful friendship. Hey, don't forget to check out the awesome description box below. I hear there's some cool ways to help support me down there as well. As always, love you all. Bye.